American Boosters, welcome you all for coming out. Our meeting are held Tuesday at 7 p.m. here at the community center. If anyone wants to join, can. The dues are $2 per person, $5 for business, and $1 for senior citizens. Anybody can join if they want to. It's really about boosting Bourbon as a community. Some of our upcoming events are the Easter egg hunt, the awards dinner, the spring tea, the trash bash, appreciation days, and obviously the fall festival, the Halloween fun night, tree lighting, the senior dinner. Tonight we have our candidates that are here for mayor and alderman. Some questions have been submitted already. Jen will read those, and then whoever they're addressed to will have about 3 minutes to answer the question. And then we'll move on to the next one. If it's appropriate for the candidate that's going against them to rebut what they said or whatever, then you'll also have time for that. So I'd like to introduce Jen Tracy, who's here to moderate tonight.
Yay!
All right, I will try to speak as loudly as I can. I have a very loud voice, it seems to carry. If you have any issues hearing me, please let me know, and I will try to speak even louder. And I guess we're just going to start off with questions here and get the show on the road. If you have other questions, just bring them up or give them to Abby and she can bring them up to me any way you'd like. So, you see, you have our candidates here. We have the current mayor, Leonard Armstrong, here. Larry Mazarin, who's running as his opponent down at the end. We also have David Klein running as Ward 1 alderman. And then John Doherty, who is also Ward 1 alderman. He's the current Ward 1 alderman. And then Stanley Bell, who's running unopposed as Ward 2. Shall we start? Okay, Mayor Armstrong. What impact do you think having Larry as mayor will have on the community?
You want a very short answer?
Sure.
3 minutes.
You have 3 minutes, so you can take all the time you like. Okay. Larry Mazarin, Mr. Mazarin, what impact do you think having Leonard as mayor will have on the community?
There's too many secrets in City Hall, and the public don't know what's going on.
Okay. This is to Mr. Mazarin. Underage and in-home tattooing is a problem in America. A tattoo not done by a licensed person or shop can cause many types of infections and health issues. By selling tattooing ink and supplies in your store, you are making it easier for children to make adult decisions to have tattoos. How do you think this type of business will reflect on the city of Bourbon if you become mayor? Would it shed a negative light on our city to have someone selling these kinds of things to people?
You're talking about tattoo equipment?
Yes, that is the
Okay,
question.
anybody can go down to Jeff City and pay $200 and be a licensed tattoo person by the state. They just have to pay $200 and go down there and put a tattoo on a dead pig. So, I mean, if they're licensed, they have every right in the world to do it.
Okay. Do you think that it would shed any kind of negative light on the city?
No.
Okay, this is for both mayoral candidates. What is your mission for Bourbon? What betterment ideas do you have planned for the community, and what do you hope to see in the future? Mayor, if you want to start?
Well, more growth, more cleaning up of the community, and just generally speaking, if we grow, we'll increase our revenue. We've seen what Dollar General has meant in the past year, and that is a plus. It probably will change the board's thinking come year end. There will be more money, a small amount, but there will be more money to do things with and possibly address salaries of people.
Leonard, can you speak to us over here too?
Okay.
Yeah, he couldn't hear, and that's why I moved over.
It's hard. I mean, I got your voice, but I can't hardly hear you.
No, it's good.
All right.
I got a megaphone out in the car.
Well, basically, Jeff, I promoted growth here in the community and cleaning up the community. I don't think you would have to be blind to overlook the cleaning of right-of-ways, the improvements, one thing and another that has went on. We're about to get this Safe Routes to School, a sidewalk program. Old 66, after 3 years of negotiating with the state, will be paved. It's things like this that have been long needed and have long been overlooked.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, Mr. Mazarin, how was your response to that? What is your mission for Bourbon? What betterment ideas do you have planned for the community, and what do you hope to see in the future?
Well, I think the citizens should know more about what's going on in the city government. Because right now, it's hard to find out anything, even for me. They want you to pay for all the information in City Hall, and it's just, it should be for the people. And I think it's just for a few right now.
Yeah. Somebody have a question?
No, I'm saying that didn't answer the question. That didn't answer the question.
Well, what was the question?
Question was, what is your mission for Bourbon, and what betterment ideas do you have planned for the community, and what do you hope to see in the future?
Well, I don't know, I'm not the mayor, but right now, the people do not know what's going on in city government. It's like, I don't know what the city, how's the city gonna benefit from taking over the ownership of Route 66? I think most of the people don't even know that in this town.
But what is your plans for the betterment for Bourbon in the future? What are your plans? You're talking about.
I don't have a plan. Right now, the people have to know what's going on in the city government,
I agree.
and they don't know what's going on.
No, people don't know a lot.
Well, they don't.
That's coming.
But if you're going to want to be a mayor of a town or a community, you have to have a plan going in. Sounds to me like you have no plan. All you want us to know is business. How can we vote for you if you don't have a plan to better our community?
For the future.
Well, I think the plan is the people need to know what's going on in the city. And the city and the people need to have their constituents vote the way they want. Right now, the aldermen don't vote for anything, any way that the public that lives here in the city would like.
That's not answering the question.
Well,
I think you have to have a plan. Do you want to see growth? Do you want to see this? Do you want to see that? But you have no plan.
Well, the cops on the highway is not helping the city at all, because they're not helping anybody that lives in the city. It's just for revenue. That's all that is for, is revenue.
I agree, that is for revenue.
That's all for
The
revenue.
grant pays for that.
And they should not be on the highway,
If
just
grant
so they
money
just,
pay for that,
just so they can all-
on the highway bringing revenue to the city.
well, how's that helping
Or
the
is that
public?
victimless crime?
How's that helping the people living in
course
the
it's-
city?
Can I respond
Mr.
to
Doherty?
this? I'm fine.
Sorry, fine. Yeah.
It was brought to the board, the mayor sitting here and Stanley sitting here. The chief brought two budgets. One with the highway, one without. One without the highway, he had to be basically a temp police department. There was no money there to have a 24/7 police department. Mr. Delishman, who's not here tonight, he went from business to business to business, and he came back to another meeting and said, it's the consensus of the town that they want 24/7 police protection. We don't want to be under the county. We think it's best to have a local police department. We voted on that, and on those two issues alone, we voted for the budget with the highway. Nobody wants the cars on the highway. We've got a bad enough image problem as it is, and it seems like when people get pulled over in Bourbon, going on the highway, that's what they remember the most. But we've got to add it to have 24/7 police protection. And that's what the city, most people in this city want, 24/7 police protection. So that's how the vote went.
Jan, can I say something? I think it was in the paper, that is what happened.
Yeah.
If the people of Bourbon read the paper, this is what happened. police department had to have that and everything, is what it
It was a necessity to keep the
Right,
service.
yes. I heard that.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
And actually, I don't approve the highway program, but we have to have it if we're gonna have it 24/7. But we can only maximize on the highway to a certain extent. Only 35% of their budget can come from fines, comes off that highway.
And is that the case now, Leonard? I mean,
That's.
are they on target with that?
Statute.
But is the city meeting that requirement? Is that the statute? I mean,
Well, we're below that, I think.
Okay.
But, that's an item that can fluctuate, Jeff.
okay.
They could be out there more often because they assist the county in accidents, controlling traffic, you know, when they're asked to do it. So their participation sometimes varies with what the county does.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, next question. Can you tell us about the proposed Bourbon Fun Center at the industrial park? I don't know who this is directed to. It doesn't say Mayor Armstrong.
Yeah. It's my question, Leonard. I saw a proposal for the funds for a fund center. Are you familiar with that, or?
I am, and I think that will it will have to flow through the necessary procedures first, Jeff. It will have to go through P&Z and then on to the board.
Is there a timetable for that, or has that been?
It's not a city,
Not,
not through the city. It's someone's going to buy and purchase a lot.
well, in the industrial park, the city has adopted a policy that they will lease these lots based on size as far as the amount is concerned for a 10-year period. Each year, a percentage of that is due. At the end of 10 years, they will have paid for that land, and they can purchase it for $1 at the end of the 10 years. Should something happen to that business during that time, it reverts back to the city. Is that not correct?
If they fail to operate.
If they fail, yeah. And there is a time limit, too, on going in to business.
Okay.
Okay. Back to Route
Is
66.
that what you say is a contract with Deedington?
Well, you could call it that if you want to. But each year, like the one that we did, I'll just give you the amount. We based the land. The city had no money in the land. And we just made an appraisal, an in-house appraisal, let's call it that. $5,000 negative for it. And the people that are there now required 2.5 acres. Their lease amount is $1,250 a year, which they've made their first payment. At the end of that 10-year period, for $1, they can buy that 2.5 acres. Now, these leases are non-assignable.
Okay. So they can't sell it, actually?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's normally the city's
Getting it back.
Yeah.
getting money to complete the infrastructure
Yeah,
of the
and
industrial park.
here's something else. We have another very legitimate inquiry on a small machine shop over there. I'd rather not mention the people's name at this time, but we probably would have a couple of months maybe to try to capitalize on some DED money that was available at one time for infrastructure improvement.
Okay.
Hopefully we can do that if this materializes.
Okay.
Here's one thing that's a little bit of a problem in that. Most of your lending institutions do not like that non-assignable
Yeah.
lease arrangement.
Did you have a question, sir?
Is there any restrictions to resell?
Non-assignable.
After the 10-year period, I don't think there It was, whenever I came into this position, the sign's still there, hasn't been repainted. It was denoted as an industrial park and retail center, I believe, is on it also.
Isn't that land contaminated from that spill that was on from Sullivan up to here?
No, that matter has just been settled, and I don't know how much of it will be made public. But one of the big questions there was how, why did that thing get in Bourbon? We never did get a definite answer.
Their soil taken,
Yes.
if there were soil samples taken, the city paid for soil samples to be taken, and there's nothing up there.
Yeah, I could clear that up, Leonard. I just talked to JT up in Sullivan yesterday, or this afternoon, and the reason why they moved it down this way is because it was already past, so this is what he told me, it was already past their exit, and the next way they could go was that way, as opposed to bringing it back up the highway. At least that's what he shared with me. And following up with that, was there any type of financial remuneration for the city? Did the city get paid anything for their time and trouble?
Yes.
And how much was that amount?
Actually, there was $50,000 received from P&G, but attorneys and environmental people,
Eight of them.
I believe the net, and don't quote me on
Well,
the dollar, but the net is close to $25,000.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you guys didn't make out like fat
There was
cats.
lots of paperwork going like this.
All right.
The real question is why? Why did, and you can probably find people that will argue with you, Jeff, on the location of that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have no problem finding people to argue with me.
Mayor Armstrong,
Yes, ma'am.
if you get back in as mayor, are you going to do something with the industrial park property, or just forget about it and do more with the property where Dollar General is located?
Well, I'm reluctant to talk about the property where Dollar General is located because I am a member of that not-for-profit group, yes. But hopefully, our economy nationally, statewide, countywide, and citywide will improve in the relatively near future. And try to we'll try to go ahead and get something done on the industrial park.
This question is for Mr. Mazarine. It says, Larry, I have your address as 3125 Oak Valley Drive in Bourbon. Is that your recent address, or have you moved into the city limit, and when did you move into the city limits?
I've been in the city limit for over 3 years, and that's a house that I own. I also own 2 houses down in Leesburg.
And Larry, if you would, why did you have to move down here?
Hopefully we had a fire in our house. I'm at my business 24 hours a day anyway.
Where's that, what did you say, Oak Lane?
Oak Valley.
Oak Valley Drive,
Oak Valley Drive.
3125.
Is that the city of Bourbon?
No, that's where my house that they're working on.
Where's that at?
It's in, it's Crawford County, but,
Farm Snow.
it's a Bourbon address.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
out
Far
of
Snow.
Bourbon, yeah. That's not the city.
No, that's not in the city limits.
Okay. This question is for the alderman. Why do you want to be an alderman?